Okay, hello, Tyler Bryden here. I hope everything is going well. Generative AI, it's taken over, and there's a new thing that is trending this week that I want to cover. I'm sure if you are following this space at all, you're already seeing that, and that is Lensa AI. And I looked into Lensa a little bit before this. I've got a nice little description of them here. Was apparently doing a bunch of photo and video editing. People were using for selfies, lots of different things. So it was already a really popular application, but that has increased tremendously with the update of this magic avatar feature. And so for many of you, you're maybe now seeing images like this where people are uploading selfies of themselves. They are getting fantastical results with those. Lots of, I think, mixed ones where maybe people are getting ones that are a little silly or not accurate or things like that. But overall, I think people are enjoying this output quite a bit. And we're now seeing the rise of celebrities doing this. So we've got our good friend, one of my favorite comedians of all time, Conan here. Some wonderful images of him shared directly on Team Coco and many, many more along that line. So I think this is a spike. In fact, I can search that up in 1 second to see if that spike is true, because I can just feel it. I can see it. I know you can see it. You're looking this up. You're looking for this video or information around this right now. If you've come across this video, there we go. And sort of proves the point. This is in Canada in the past 12 months, and we are at peak 100 for this. And I think just a couple sort of interesting notes on this, just as take a look. I'll put the images back up because they're pretty, so we can keep that on the screen while I sort of talk about a couple of these things. So one of them is, I guess, just overall the price point of it. And there's a great post. Let me pull this up from Ali K. Miller. And if you don't know Ali K. Miller, awesome entrepreneur in sort of AI space, formerly with Amazon and their startup team. It talks about the app, first of all, being incredibly easy to use. 10 to 20 selfies of yourself. Ideally, those are good quality selfies, I believe, from different angles. I haven't done this myself. I don't know if I'm going to, and maybe I'll share a couple of reasons why. And with that, 100 AI-generated photos that you can use for social media or other profiles, so you are free to use them. $12 for the entire package. So 100 photos. I'm not going to do the exact math or cost breakdown of this, but as Ali sort of alludes here, it's a high profit margin that they're making. They're using the Stable Diffusion model. And my guess is they've got a series of set sort of prompts for these 100 images that are generating that produce these, again, magical sort of outputs that people are really excited about. And when you put in the order, it just, submits those prompts and generates those images. Now, again, lots of messy sort of outputs in this process, but overall people are happy and are sharing these. And there's this virality spreading through this app because of it. Now, what she also details is 22 million downloads. This is what I was talking about. It was being used before for other applications. Now it's being used, with virality with this function. And 2 million of those came in the last month. And as this has trended, as this has spiked, $600,000 on December 2nd alone. That was the revenue sort of rumor that has sort of come about. And a couple other points that I think Ali explicitly points out, and others have done, and I've got some sort of articles. I'll post those in the links in the description so you can check those out. But sort of talking about this idea of over sexualization of women in the photos. And so she said, so over half of the photos that she actually generated with this app were sort of inappropriate to share. Another one is, sort of females talking about this down below is that sort of over womanization, feature exaggeration, a little bit more, like, I don't even know how to say this properly, but making the avatars or the final output looks a little more Asian than European. So that's something that actually is pretty, unanimous across sort of the comments and sort of feedback on it. And the other interesting thing here is that there are, people talking about picking other when gender selection. So then with that other, then there is less sort of over womanization, over feature exaggeration that's sort of occurring. So that's I guess a tip if you're looking to not have over sexualized avatars. But overall, people a lot of people testing it, a lot of people putting these images in, and I think that then brings up the sort of next concern. And I think there are a couple sort of articles specifically around this, around sort of privacy policy, the data that they're using, how it's training for the system. They've got the privacy policy on Prisma, which is the actual main app, and then a couple sort of warning signs around Lensa being using your photos to train their AI, which in most cases user any sort of data that you're submitting, in some case with AI engines are doing that process. They're trying to improve the system to create better outputs. And so again, Stable Diffusion, which is sort of open source. We've talked about them lots on this channel. I'll put a link if you haven't come across them and you're sort of just diving into this world. For $3.99, it's saying 10 to 20, and then for $3.99, 10, and then they receive 50, which is a little bit of a conflict. I don't know if they've lowered the amount of output, maybe by cost or the volume that they're doing, and they can't necessarily handle it. And then I think there are some other sort of more major concerns, or things that this application itself have really driven home, which is how quickly this technology is being adopted without necessarily, due diligence and things like that. I think also just this idea that, there are people who were incredible artists and things like that are now being, if at the very lowercase, stressed about seeing this. And there are, concerns or things saying like, hey, the hands don't look great. That hands don't look great, and this is why real artists can never be replaced. But for anyone who's sort of following the trending exponential quality of this technology, it's very obvious to us that those changes are very pointed out, and with that will already be addressed very quickly, and I think are already being addressed with models that are doing much better on, for example, hand outputs. So I think there are a lot of, again, other things where it's like, if there's influencers online who are sharing this kind of thing, then there are, the virality of it really grows. And then there's also then the concerns for sort of, anyone who's wanting to, do that, will, because they're seeing their artists, celebrities do it, will then do it as well too, and then it sort of accumulates over that. And I think with that, we're moving into an area where we're all starting to see sort of mainstream applications. Maybe it's not solving this like problem, like but for the world that we're living in today, people want to have cool pictures. People want to have, this is value in today's society. And I think this sort of process as a whole really it tackles our sort of self-love, narcissistic desire. And that's why so many of us are willing to jump through the possible consequences of this to get the output that we ideal, and so we can have the cool images, so we can be part of this cultural moment, similar to what we've seen with crypto, similar to what we've seen it with NFT. I certainly question how NFT people are feeling when people are able to do this for $3.99. I think the value of that continues to be detrimentally impacted by these systems that allow us to create relatively incredible art for pennies in our own way that we want. And so overall, I just thought this was, definitely worth highlighting. Super fascinating. If I do this, I will share the images that I get. I just haven't necessarily had the time, the desire yet. It hasn't hit that threshold for me, but we're now seeing, many influencers doing it. And I'm guessing that, I'll probably fall apart at some point, and I'm sure maybe you will too if we're watching it. Anyways, this is the video on Lensa AI exploding in popularity with this magic avatar feature, giving you all the links, all the resources you need. Check it out. Hope you enjoyed. If you do it, would love to see the feedback or your input or anything that you're thinking about it. And just amazing to see this just explode with popularity, similar to ChatGPT, I think earlier this week. So thank you for checking this out. I'm Tyler Bryden. Subscribe, like, comment, all that good stuff. Hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Bye-bye.